Hi, kindergartners. We're back together again today to do some science. I'm so excited. I have some questions for you. Are you alive? That probably seems like a funny question. How would you know if you were alive or not? What, Mrs. McKenzie, you're talking crazy talk. What if I asked you, what is a living thing? How would you answer that? How do you know if something is actually alive? Is my ice cream alive? You probably said no. You probably know my ice cream's not alive. But how can we tell it's not alive? Have you ever thought about that before? What about the sunshine? Is the sunshine alive? No, I don't think the sunshine is alive. But how do we know? What about an octopus? This is just a silly toy octopus. But do you think a real octopus is alive? What would you say if I asked you about a seal? Not a toy seal, but a real seal. Would you say that a seal is alive? Well, I would say an octopus is alive and a seal is alive, but how do we know? We're going to be scientists today. We're going to think about how we can tell and how we can know if something is alive. Okay, so I want you to take a look at this on my screen. I have this question on here that says, what is a living thing? So we're going to think about that today. And then at the end of today, I'm going to have you go on a little hunt in your house or your yard to go find some things that are living and some things that aren't living. And you have to be able to explain how you know. This lesson will be fine if you're by yourself, just sitting at the computer, listening to me, answering my questions. But it might be fun for you if you have a grown up with you or someone else who can sit with you so you can answer questions and talk about these things together. So look at my picture here. I have a building, and we know a building is not living, but we also have a boy, and a boy is living. I want to talk to you about what are some of the things that are the same about all living things. And when I talk about the word living, say that word living, good job. That just means it's something that is alive. So let's see here. I want you to think about what would happen if 5 years went by. This says 5 years later. 5 years from now, what will that building look like? What do you think? Think about it for a minute. It looks the same, right? 5 years doesn't change the way a building looks. But this boy, he's probably about your age. Maybe he's 5 or maybe he's 6. And 5 years from now, oh my goodness, how old will he be? How old will you be in 5 years? Well, you'll probably be 10, maybe 11 years old. Will you look the same? No, you're not going to look the same in 5 years. Look, this is the same boy 5 years later. Look how much he has grown and how much he has changed. Do you know that if something is alive, it can grow and change? Look at this picture. This is the Statue of Liberty. It's not living. And this is a plant. Do you know that plants are living? So I just told you that all living things can grow and change. So this time, let's think about 5 months. 5 months is a lot shorter than 5 years. Do you think that this Statue of Liberty will change in 5 months? Probably not. There it is. It still looks the same after 5 months. But what about the plant? After 5 months, let's see. If it's alive, it will grow and change. So let's look at it. Oh my goodness, look how much that plant has grown and changed in 5 months. That plant is a living thing and it grows and it changes. All right, let's look at another picture. I have a shoe is not living, and a lion cub. And a lion cub, that's living. Let's think about some time. How about 1 year? 1 year later, do you think the shoe will look like it has grown in a year? No, the shoe doesn't grow in a year because a shoe is not alive. But what about a lion cub? Does a lion cub grow after a year? You bet it does. Wow, look at that. It's not a cub anymore. It's a full-grown lion after 1 year. A lion is alive. So when things are alive, they can grow and change. So all living things grow and change. Look at this plant showing you that it was a baby and it got bigger and it got bigger, it grew and it changed. All right, let's think about something else that all living things do. Let's see, look at this picture. If you have somebody else with you, tell them what you think is happening in this picture. I can see in this picture there's some arrows going up like this and some arrows going down. Try this. What did I just do? That's right, I just did something called breathe. Say breathe. That's right, and breathe is when you take air in and you let air out. If something is alive, we know that it can breathe. It can breathe. So let's see. Here's something else all living things do. All living things eat. I actually want to go back just a little bit to this picture about breathing. Do you know that even plants can breathe? We don't usually think about plants breathing because they don't have a nose and they don't have a mouth, but plants soak up the air and they let out other air, and plants breathe. They're alive. Fish in the water, they even breathe. They have a different way of breathing than we do. They breathe too. Everything that is living can breathe. So if it's alive, it can grow and change, and it can breathe. Let's think about what else it can do. So look at this one. What is that goat doing? He is eating some grass. And what is that bird doing? The bird is eating a worm. And of course, we have this boy here who is eating some chicken. I bet you guessed it. All living things can eat. What's your favorite thing to eat? You have to eat every day, don't you? Because you're living. Think about yourself. You grow and you change. You breathe in air and you eat. Those are three things we have to remember that living things all do. All living things eat. Now look at this plant. Do plants eat? Sometimes we don't think about a plant as eating because it doesn't have a mouth and it doesn't eat the same way we do. But a plant has these things down here called roots where it soaks up from the dirt all of the healthy nutrients and things that it needs to be healthy and strong and to grow. So a plant has a different way of eating, but a plant does eat. Excuse me. All living things can eat. Here we go. All living things eat. That's the word eat. E-A-T, eat. All living things eat. Well, what else do they need? They grow and change. They breathe. They eat. What is this? That's right. It's water. Did you tell the person you're with that it is water? Plants need water. What happens if a plant doesn't get any water? It's not going to live anymore, is it? It needs to have water. Animals need water, and of course, humans, what do we need too? Water. We all need water. Water is necessary for all living things. Doesn't that water look refreshing? Pretend to drink a glass of water with me. Ready? Drink with me. Was your water good? My water was good. All right, so let's think again about what living things need, what all living things have in common, what they all do. Living things grow and change. Living things breathe air. Living things eat food. And living things drink water. That's right. There's one more thing I want you to remember about living things. So let's see if you can guess it from the picture. So this is a big tree, as you can see. And the big tree drops something called a seed. This is an acorn. It's a seed. And then that acorn goes in the ground and turns into a little seedling that grows and grows and grows and grows and becomes a big tree. Let's see. Let's look at this picture. We have a mama swan and her baby swans. We have an elephant, big elephant, little elephant, and of course, a human mom and a baby. What do you think all living things do from these pictures? Tell the person you're with. all living things can have baby living things. We don't usually think of plants as having babies, right? But look at this big tree. It dropped down a little seed. The seed got planted in the ground and it grew a baby plant that then grows and becomes a big plant. And then that big plant can drop a seed and make a baby plant. So all living things can make baby living things. Isn't that kind of cool? All living things can have baby little things. Look at those cute little things. All right, so let's review. I have some pictures here to show you, okay? What is a living thing? So remember, all living things can grow and change, like this picture of the plants. All living things breathe air, like this picture here. All living things eat food, like the bird. All living things need to drink water. And of course, all living things can have baby living things. So here's what I want to do next. I want to show you some pictures of my living or non-living things, and I want you to think about, what did I just learn from Miss Mackenzie? And are those living or non-living things? How would I know? Well, this first one is a snail. Are snails living or non-living? Talk about it with the person next to you. You could even pause this video and talk about it with the person next to you. Talk about things like, does a snail grow? Does a snail eat? Can a snail breathe? Can a snail have water? Can a snail have baby snails? Well, if you said yes to all of those things, ding, 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 it's a living thing. Let's think about some of these other pictures I have. Each time I show you a picture, I want you to pause the video and you can just answer to me on the screen. Or if you're with somebody else in the room, talk about it with them. A flower. What do you think about a flower? Can a flower be a living thing? You can pause it and talk about it. I hope you said yes. A flower is a living thing because it needs water, it breathes in air, it needs food from the soil, it can make baby flowers from the seeds. What about a basketball? Pause it and talk about how you can know if a basketball is a living thing or not. I hope you said, no, Miss Mackenzie, that's silly. A basketball is not a living thing. It doesn't eat food. It can't have baby basketballs. It doesn't drink water. It doesn't grow, right? So many reasons. Basketballs are not living. What about carrots? Are carrots a living thing? Pause it and talk about it. All right, I hope you said yes, but I don't want you to only say yes. I want you to explain why. Did you explain why? How do you know? Does it grow? Can a carrot grow? Yes, of course. It starts little and it grows and gets bigger. Can carrots have baby carrots? Yes, we have carrot seeds and we plant new seeds and the carrots grow into big carrots and then we get more seeds. That's right, carrots are living. What about a car? Pause the video. All right, did you talk about all 5 of those things? Can a car grow? Does it eat food? Does it breathe air? Does it drink water? Does it make baby cars? I hope you said, oh, Miss Mackenzie, no. A car is not a living thing. What about a bird? Pause the video and talk about if you think a bird is a living thing or not. All right, yes, a bird is a living thing. I have 3 more for you. I want you to pause it each time and think about, is that a living thing, yes or no? And then explain how you know. What about this one? Pencils. Living thing or not living? Not living, right? Pencils don't need water. They don't need air. They don't make baby pencils. Of course it's not real. Well, not living. What about a shoe? Living or non-living? Do shoes drink water? Do shoes breathe air? Do shoes make baby shoes? Do they grow? No, it's not living. Finally, a giraffe. Giraffe. Is a giraffe living or not living? All right, good job, boys and girls. So that was fun, and I hope you remember now how to tell if something is living or not living. Here's your challenge. You're going to show me what you know. I want you to go outside, and you have to go with a grown-up. Don't just go by yourself. I want you to go outside, and I want you to try to find 5 things that are living and 5 things that are not living. And you need to be thinking like a scientist. How do I know if it's living? It's living if it eats food, if it breathes air, if it drinks water, if it can make baby little living things, and if it can grow and change, then it is living. So I want you to pause this video, go on a little scavenger hunt. You could even look around your house. Maybe there's some things around your house that you can find that are living things or non-living things. All right, so pause this and come back. All right, I hope you had a great time on your scavenger hunt. I hope you found 5 things that are living or non-living. I want to show you something you could do with that. You could take a paper and fold it in half. And on one side, you could show a yes. And on one side, you could show a no. Can you see that on there? Yes and no. Yes means it's living. Oops, this side. And no means it's not living. And you could take your items, if they're small enough, and put them on here. You could also draw pictures. You could draw some pictures of things you know that are not living. And you could draw some pictures of things that you know that you are living and show it to somebody in your house. I'm sure they would love to see it. All right, you did a great job today. I hope you're learning all about how to tell if something is living or not living. I'm so glad that you were here with me today, and I can't wait to see you for our next lesson. Bye, boys and girls.